Hello and thank you for joining us on this Thursday. I am Hayden Balgavy. Now at noon, a woman is in custody in Saline County this afternoon after stabbing several people at a convenience store last night. What we know in 2 minutes. And with all the storms we saw on Tuesday night, that got a lot of people wondering about the lightning. Well, today we're going to verify what's true and what is not. And the latest installment of Black Panther heads to theaters this fall. Who's in and who's out in our must-see headlines just ahead. But first, we're going to start with meteorologist Scott Covert. Scott, we've been talking about it all morning, and we continue in the afternoon, into the evening, into tomorrow. What do you say? It's the dog days of summer? It's just hot?
Dog days of summer. I feel like a broken record. Hayden, the forecast, it's hot, it's pretty humid, and we just don't have much chances of rain to talk about. Here's what's happening outside in your sky this afternoon. Mostly clear. We do have a few clouds bubbling up, pretty typical in the afternoons in Arkansas in the summertime. You do find a few more clouds in southern Arkansas. Temperature-wise, it's toasty, 94 already in the capital city, 89 in Russellville, 90 in Pine Bluff and Stuttgart, 91 currently in Camden. Today's high temperature climbs all the way to 97, and while it is humid, it's a little bit less humid courtesy of some east winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll hang on to mostly sunny skies. There's a very slim chance of a couple of stray showers in South Arkansas this afternoon into this evening. By and large, I think most of us are going to be dry, which is unfortunate news given the brand new drought monitor that just came out this morning. It shows the entire state abnormally dry with moderate drought conditions developing in northern Arkansas and inching a little bit closer into central parts of the state. So the big question becomes, is there any rain in sight? Well, there's a little bit. It's not going to be enough, but we'll take a look at the timing of another cold front and the chance of rain it brings coming up in a few moments.
All right, Scott, thank you. This afternoon, we're learning the woman suspected in a stabbing spree in Saline County was arrested after a police chase in Hot Springs. Now, this all started yesterday evening when deputies responded to the Big Red Valero store on Highway 70. It's between Hot Springs and Benton. There, they say the woman, whose name has not yet been released, stabbed a customer and then drove off. Now, she reportedly stabbed a second person at a different location and then came back to the gas station and stabbed an employee. Now, all the victims are expected to be okay. Law enforcement caught her soon after that, reportedly performing a pit maneuver, which led to a crash in Hot Springs. We are working to learn the identity of that suspect today. Well, for the first time this year, violent crime in Little Rock is down compared to last year. THV 11's Ashley Godwin shows us the trend and how city leaders are responding.
This is a graph from the city of Little Rock, and in January we peaked at 74% in violent crime. There was a valley, and then the numbers started to climb again. But by March we had a steady decrease, and now for the first time this year we have less crime than 2021.
We are safer today as it relates to violent crime than we were last year.
In Little Rock, violent crime stats count homicides, rapes, robberies, and aggravated assaults. With each of those combined, our violent crime is down 3% from this time last year. But individually, homicides and robbery are still up.
Clearly, we are seeing the downward trend, as we mentioned, of the little over 3%, but we also pointed out the homicides are up a little over 29%. That's significant to us, and it's personal.
We're at 44 homicides this year. That's 10 more than last year, and robberies are up 49%. And in the last 5 years, our violent crimes are up across the board at 13%.
It's a testament to our holistic approach and targeted crime reduction efforts.
Mayor Frank Scott Jr. attributes the improvements in crime to new community programs and the LRPD's hard work. One program the mayor mentioned teaches middle schoolers how to defuse situations with conflict resolution skills. And midnight basketball is coming back for kids this week.
It helps when you have something for our children to do during the summer months. It helps diffuse a lot of things.
LRPD has been meeting weekly to look at the numbers and talk about how to prevent them from getting higher.
Analyzing all of the Part 1 offenses, but particularly the violent crime offenses, drill into the homicides, what is the motive, why they are occurring.
In Little Rock, Ashley Godwin, THV 11 News.
The interim police chief also says the rate for solving homicides right now is at 70%. He adds that is above the national average. Many of us are just hoping for the pandemic to be over. However, it is clear that is not happening anytime soon. Health officials are warning a fall surge is likely and a third booster will soon be available. Dr. Jennifer Dillahay with the State Health Department says the new subvariant is causing a rise in cases, leading to more hospitalizations. And while many are feeling over the pandemic, one UAMS doctor says that can't be the case, especially with new work being done to help.
There's continuing work going on around additional vaccines, around different types of vaccines. So don't throw in the towel while we're still working on the tools.
Dr. Hopkins says the actual number of COVID cases may be much higher than we think because at-home testing is not reported and testing as a whole has slowed down. Israel's Medal of Honor. President Joe Biden received Israel's Medal of Honor, that country's highest civilian honor. Now, the president is using the visit to assure Israel that the U.S. will not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. But the countries can't agree on the best way to go about that. Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid signed a joint pledge to deny Iran nuclear weapons.
You have an ironclad commitment from the United States of America to Israel's security, an ironclad commitment.
Israel is pushing the U.S. to be more aggressive against Iran.
The Iranian regime must know that if they continue to deceive the world, they will pay a heavy price.
President Biden says he wants to continue to work to try to bring Iran back to the negotiating table to find a peaceful resolution to end their nuclear program.
I continue to believe that diplomacy is the best way to achieve this outcome.
But the Israelis say that won't work.
Words will not stop them, Mr. President. Diplomacy will not stop them. The only thing that will stop Iran is knowing that if they continue to develop their nuclear program, the free world will use force.
Wednesday, President Biden told Israeli TV that all options are on the table.
Does that also mean, sir, that you would use force against Iran? Is that what that means? If needed?
That was the last resort, yes.
Friday, President Biden heads to Saudi Arabia to meet with the country's king and crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And President Biden says he will raise concerns about Saudi Arabia's human rights practices, as well as discussing what can be done to bring down rising gas prices. Well, switching gears to the economy, for the first time in 20 years, the American dollar has the same value as a euro. Now, rising interest rates in the U.S. create a stronger dollar and weaken other currencies around the world. The euro is down nearly 12% since the beginning of the year. Americans can drop more money in France, Italy, Germany, and all 19 countries that use the euro.
I would definitely spend probably a little bit more than I was expecting to bring home gifts, and probably do a little bit more shopping in the wonderful shops.
And those cheaper prices might be here for a while. Economists predict the euro could drop as low as 85 cents in the near future. And it's not just the euro that is weaker. The British pound is at a 2-year low against the U.S. dollar. Well, this morning, rideshare company Uber is facing a major lawsuit. Uber is being sued by more than 500 women in multiple states who say they were attacked while using the company's services. The California-based company is also being accused of not putting adequate safety measures in place to protect passengers. Now, according to filings, plaintiffs include women who were kidnapped, sexually assaulted, raped, stalked, and falsely imprisoned by drivers they were paired with through the app. Coming up, with many people in central Arkansas finding themselves right in the middle of a thunderstorm a couple of nights ago, that got us thinking. In 6 minutes, we verify some of the most popular claims about thunder and lightning.
We sure could use another one of those thunderstorms to bring a little bit of rain, but not today. In fact, it's going to be a hot and sunny one across most of the state. How hot's it going to get? And we'll have a preview of your weekend forecast coming right up.